Hey guys, this is like the 5th time I've remade this video. I'm fixing to give up. Um, I was watching the news yesterday, waiting for the weather to come on. And right before the weather came on is a city official in one of the cities in Florida saying sex offenders can't go into the shelters. And there's a lot of people got pissed about that. And I just shook my head and I'm thinking, good for that city official not letting registered sex offenders go around normal people. What is this world coming to where a child molester or a rapist should be saved in a hurricane? No, they just need to, they don't have no rights. They need to be put in general population and let the prisoners take care of their sick, perverted butts. And that got me thinking. I've watched a lot of videos and everything, and people are always talking about marauders, looters, gangs coming and getting their preps. But they never talk about the sick perverts out here, the child molesters, the rapists. That's the ones you really need to watch out for, because the marauders and the gangs and the looters, they're going to come at you. These sick perverts are going to sneak around and watch and see if they can snatch one of your kids, or one of your little brother, or your little sister, your niece, or your nephew, or your grandkids. Or they're going to try to grab a woman. They're not going to do it face to face. They're going to be sneaky. And in a SHTF situation, this place is going to be ate up with them, because they're not going to have to go to their sex offender classes. They're not going to have to go to probation. If they got that thing on their ankle, they're going to cut that off their ankle, because there's going to be no law to watch them. People don't think about that. They're wrapped up about all this other stuff, getting in firefights with marauders and stuff like that. My wife, there's an app or a website my wife goes to, and she keeps a check on these sick perverts in our area. In this little town, I think we've got 4 of them. That's what you want to keep an eye out for. That's what you want to prepare for. These sick perverts. They don't... I'm sorry, I hate a child molester or a rapist, because they don't have enough package to go out and please a real woman. They have to beat and rape a woman to make them feel like a man, or they have to grab a little kid and hurt them in order to make them feel like a man, because they got a miniature chihuahua pecker, because they don't have enough package there to please a woman. So they have to go hurt people, hurt little ones and hurt women to make them feel like they're a man. I despise them. Everybody knows, I done a video about prisoners, and I mentioned it. I got a sex offender about 300 yards away from me, down the road. He's already had the cops up here on me like 2 or 3 times. Last time, the landlord told him, and the cops told him, if you come back up here, I told the cops, I will kill him deader than 4 o'clock hell on Sunday. I will shoot him dead. He don't need to be around my kids. The cops told him, and guess what? He hasn't been back around. Because my boys are my world. And there's no way a sex offender would ever see the inside of a courtroom if they ever touch one of mine. But so this is what we're going to have to prepare for too. Just not the mobs and the looters and the pissed off neighbor.
you're going to have to keep in mind, you have to think outside the box. And these perverts, you might not have none in your town right now or the area you live at. But once an SHTF situation happens, they're going to be like cockroaches. They're going to be everywhere. Because there's going to be no officials to keep track of them or anything like that. So there's a site, you know, big old hornet. You can get on internet and you can look up local sex offenders in your area. I can't remember the website, but Google it. And it gives them the name, it gives them their location, and it gives them a picture. Use that as a tool in case of make copies of it so you'll have it on record. Study them, who they are, look at their faces, recognize them. That way, if something does happen, you know there's something in your area that you could keep track of, and you can keep a lookout. I mean, you don't know. You know, you see neighbors walking past your house right now, and you just think, oh, they're regular neighbors if you haven't checked them out. It could be a child molester checking out your kids or your grandkids or your baby brother or your sister or your niece or your nephew. You know, having that knowledge will help you protect and prepare. You know, protect your family and prepare for these sexual perverts. You know, because they're not human. And what blew my mind, there's a lot of people that was pissed off at the city officials saying they can't come into the shelter where there's women and children at. I applaud him. You know, let them stand out in the hurricane and get swept away and become alligator food and shark food. I don't think nobody cry over those people. You know, and you know, you guys know I get slack because I won't be charitable, or, you know, you need to be a Christian and be charitable and help your neighbors out. Would you guys, being a Christian and being charitable, would you help a sick child molester or a sick rapist? Would you give them food? Would you give them shelter? My sub friends that I talk to on a regular basis, I know the answers. They're like me. Hell no. The only food they would be given would probably be a lead diet. You know, but you know, I've never seen a video about sexual predators in a SHTF situation. You know, it's going to be bad. You know, that's one worry you're going to have to really think about, because you got to protect your kids. And if there's a rapist around, you got to protect your sisters or your nieces or your mom or your grandmother or your wife or your girlfriend. You got to keep that in mind. You know, yeah, okay, think about the marauders, think about the looters or the gangs. But what's more likely going to appear before all that? A child molester or a rapist. They're going to be a dime a dozen. And they're going to be out on the prowl. They're going to be like ravaged dogs trying to hurt little ones and hurt women. What do you do to a ravaged dog? You put them down. You know, that's a child molester or a rapist. They need to be executed. They don't need to be put in prison, because when they come out, they're going to do it again. They need to be executed. And if they don't want to execute them, they need to cut their tongue out, they need to cut their hands off, and they need to cut their little bitty weenie off, so they can never touch another woman or little one again. They have the desire to do it, but they won't have nothing to do it with. Now, I'm sorry. You could be a bleeding heart and think, oh, they're human, they make a mistake. Bullshit. There's no mistakes beating and raping a woman. And there's no mistake in raping a little boy or a little girl, a kid. No, there's no second chances. There's no forgiveness. You know, I've raised 2 girls and an oldest son, and that was on my mind constantly. You know, when my girls were growing up, I protected them. I watched over them like a hawk. My boys, I do the same thing. You know, no, I would fight anything and everything to keep my boys safe. And I hope, if you guys haven't thought about looking up sexual predators in your area, I hope you do it. You know, that way you can get their picture, you can get the area they're in, how many's in your area, and then you'll know, okay, keep an eye out for this person. Sorry, or a big wasp. Man, that thing's fixing to fight. Okay, it went over that way. But that way you can protect your kids. You can protect your family. You know, that's something everybody's going to have to look out for. These sexual perverts, because I'm sorry, I don't give them no charity. There's no, drinking and driving and running into somebody and killing them and get a DUI, manslaughter. Okay, that's, you can overlook that as a mistake if they just done it one time, or shooting somebody. Okay, that's a mistake. Oh, I got into, robbing a store, peer pressure, whatever the hell you want to call it. A mistake. People do make mistakes. But beating and raping a woman or messing with a kid, no, that's not a mistake. There's no forgiveness there. They have no rights. They should be executed right there on the spot. Those two are unforgivable. And, like I said, I've got a pervert living right down from me, about 300 yards. He messed with, at the time they were 9 and 13, in the bed with his wife. It's his wife's nieces. And he used the excuse, I was drunk. I thought it was my wife. He had 4 counts on him. His wife's crazier as a damn bedbug on crack. And he pleaded out and he got a year. And these little girls are still screwed up. My boys go to school with them. And they're still kind of messed up from that. But he's out running around. He stays away from me. He stays away. When he passes in front of me, we got a 30-mile-an-hour zone in front of the house. When he passes my house, he's doing 50 or 60. But, have you guys thought about, sexual perverts in a SHTF situation? If you got little ones, if you got little brothers or sisters or nieces or nephew or grandkids, or if there's a rapist, your wife, your sisters, or whatever, Google it and look up registered sex offenders in your area. That way, it's information, it's knowledge that you know who to look out for, what areas to look out for, and how many. I mean, yeah, I've made this video 5 times, I think, already. And I get pissed because I cannot stand those type of people. And what pisses me off more, these people, these bleeding hearts who try to defend them. Well, they made a mistake. It's a sickness. It's a disease. It's that. No, they just don't have a package to please a woman. Plain and simple. They have to hurt and rape and little ones and women just to make them feel like they're something, and they're not. No, it's not a sickness. It's not a disease. It's not nothing like that. They're just
scum shit that don't have the right to breathe. You know, some of you might say that's harsh, that's cruel. I don't care. When it comes to them, I don't care what anybody says, what anybody thinks about me. If they come around here, even in normal times, if I catch one around my boy, I'm going to take them out left and right. I will have a crystal clear conscience. I won't lose a bit of sleep. And I don't care what the outcome is, the consequences is for me. All I know, that trash won't do it to another one. I feel this way now, and I'll feel probably 10 times that way more in a SHTF situation. I mean, there's no middle ground to this. And I want everybody to please check your area. You can get on there and check it for free. Find out who's around, how many's around, what they look like, what's their name. Because it's public record. And you can, that way you can keep your family safe. You know, but that was crazy. You know, I saw that public official saying they can't come into shelters, and people were getting mad. Well, they have a right. They're going to die. Who cares if a child molester or who cares if a rapist dies? The world would be better off with them gone out of it. I won't lose no sleep. I won't shed a tear for them. I wouldn't try to save them. But this place, these people are weird. They'll get pissed over a child molester being not allowed into a shelter. But will those same people turn around and help that little girl or that little boy, that child molester raped and messed up for life, or that woman the rapist beat, then raped? Will they help them? No. Because in their eyes, oh, that's not the victim. The child molester or the rapist is the victim, which is crazy. That is some... People like that are screwed up in the head. And they need the same thing child molesters get and rapists get. But I'm going to end this video because I'm starting to get pissed again, and I don't feel like redoing this video again. But tell me what you think. Have you thought about, you know, sexual perverts coming around? Or have you just focused on the marauders or the looters or the pissed off neighbor dealing with? You know, because they're going to be out, and they're going to be out bad. Because nobody's going to keep them in check. And they think they're going to be able to get away with it because there's no law, there's no order, there's no parole, you know, there's no, nothing they have to go to and sign up to and check in at or anything. And they're going to be out looking bad. So guys, gals, get online, see who's the perverts around your area, and keep an eye out for them. You know, I just hope it helps. I hope you guys, it gets you thinking about these sick pricks, and because I don't even want to think about what I would do. It would not be very, it would not be pleasant. It would I don't even think about it, really. But like I said, I hope this opens your eyes to the threat of all these these child molesters, these rapists out there. And in a major SHTF situation, they're going to be on the prowl. And you got to
That's just another thing you got to protect and be prepared for. But I'm going to get off of here. Tell me what you guys think. And everybody, think about it. Just think about it. Everybody, be safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.